It's been one heck of a career for Hunter Dickinson, a four-time All-Conference player, a two-time All-American, but he's still got a lot of college basketball left on his plate. I caught up with him earlier today. Here's that conversation. The last time we spoke, senior at DeMatha Catholic, you were going head-to-head with Evan Mobley, and I was doing the walk-off halftime interview. And I said, Hunter, you're going against the number one player in the country. And you cut me off, and you're like, he's your number one player. He's not my number one player. I was like, yeah, fair point. So I'm glad we get a second chance here, man. And I really appreciate you making the time. I know you guys are getting ready for Cincinnati tomorrow. That's where I would like to start. I would like to start by giving the viewers an idea of what the first 48 hours before game day looks like for you at Kansas. Take me through what you're doing today and what the schedule is like leading up to tomorrow's tip.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of chaotic, especially once you get to the Big 12 play, because you're trying to cram your brain with all this knowledge of teams. Like we had a couple of days to prepare for Arizona State, and you're cramming your brain with all the player personnel and everything, and then all the team's tendencies, and then you kind of got to throw that out, and then you have a 48-hour window to kind of cram your brain with everything Cincinnati. So it's kind of difficult sometimes to replace all that knowledge you just learned of a team. And some teams are very different. Like Arizona State, they're trying to shoot very quickly within the shot clock. I think 40% of their transition points are within 5 seconds of the shot clock. And then you got a team like Cincinnati who's very deliberate with what they're trying to do. They try to get the transition when they can, but they're very persistent on running their sets and trying to get a really good look every time down the floor.
Interesting. So in terms of like your daily architecture, we're pre-recording this on Friday morning. What's your schedule today? When do you guys leave for Cincinnati? What's the schedule like tomorrow?
It's a little bit different today because we got the snow. Kansas City got hit really bad like a week ago with the snow, and then it snowed a little bit last night. So our plans are kind of on makeshift right now. We'll have practice and lift early in the morning, and then we usually fly out around noonish. That's usually when we fly out, and we'll get to the place around 4 or 5, just depending on the time zone and everything like that. Get to the hotel, usually have some type of food ready for us, and then depending on the time of the game the next day, if it's an early game, we'll usually go to the gym and shoot around, or if it's a later game, we'll just chill and have dinner and snack and everything like that, watch film. And then the next day we'll go and shoot around if the game's late enough and get ready for the game then.
So you guys lift the day before the game. That's interesting. I wanted to ask you specifically about Cincinnati, and you talked about trying to cram that knowledge in. What are the certain aspects of this game that are particularly relevant to you that you are personally preparing for?
Yeah, I think having a big man like Mendega who's so athletic, he's really good at rim running and slipping out of screens. So that'll put a lot of pressure on our defense to make sure that we're really solid with that. And he's also a really great rebounder, especially offensively. So it's definitely going to be, a big job to really block him out on offensive boards and not really let them get those second chance points, because those are really backbreakers, especially in college basketball. If teams need to get a lot of offensive rebounds and get second chance points, that's really deflating to a defense.
Hunter, Coach Self said after the last game that Shaq Moore might have been the MVP, and I know kind of getting more guys to step up is a vital importance to you guys. On last week's show, we had a New Year's resolution show, and we talked about how to get AJ Storr in particular, get him going. Just wanted to know if you had any thoughts on AJ, Ryland Griffin, how you can get those transfers in the mix, especially considering you've been in their shoes before, trying to learn and adjust to this new program.
Yeah, it can be very difficult. I mean, Coach Self is a Hall of Fame coach, and he demands a lot out of his players. So it could be tough at first in the transition. Ryland, had a really good game last game. Him and Shaq were, two of our best players out there. Super happy for them. I think AJ just needs to stay, consistent and continue to have, that positive mindset. I think that's something that, really isn't talked about enough, that AJ's had a great mindset. He's had a great attitude with everything. And I really commend him for that because, it's been tough. Obviously, coming from Wisconsin, averaging, the highest points on his team. We all probably expected, more points, but he's had a great attitude, great mindset, and just trying to stay in his ear, tell him that, all it takes is one game to get that confidence and get everybody going. And obviously, we're going to need him. He's an intricate piece to our team, and I have a lot of confidence that he'll be there when the time's right.
Awesome, Hunter. We know you you got a flight to catch. Good luck at Cincinnati. We're looking forward to seeing a lot of you this year on CBS Sports HQ.
Thanks, Dad. Appreciate it. Rock chalk.